Here we go. Now we're going to do the
Honestly,
legendary
man, I
drop.
did it. I said the most controversial thing in the history of my channel. I deserve to be tried for my crimes against humanity, put up against a wall with a firing squad. What have I done? Why? I'm so sorry. I saw the trailer for Battlefield 6.
He's such a, like, did he do any, like drama in high school or something? Because he's so good at it.
And I got excited. I thought it looked absolutely incredible. And the first thing that I did was I went on Twitter, first mistake, and I said, do not pre-order. People didn't like that. I was hit with a wave of some of the most emotional, performative,
Why are you pre-ordering? Why? Why? What's the point? Why are you pre-ordering? Hi, Ellen. Pre-ordering has got to be the stupidest thing you can do with any of these game companies right now. Like, if I'll say this, if it was somewhere like Larian Studios, sure. Even though they don't even do that. They don't do that because they know. They're like, sure, we can make maybe a little bit extra money, but like, well, I think they do pre-orders, but they don't like give special extras and stuff. No, don't pre-order. No point in it. The only people that really should pre-order are people like me that they need to have the game as early as possible. But even then, I would buy it day one. I wouldn't pre-order it. I'd wait until the day it came out, check reviews, and check YouTubers that have had it before it came out.
downright moronic takes that I have ever seen. Most of them I'll be sharing with you today. Some people thought that I hate Battlefield for some reason. Other people thought that I was specifically telling them what to do with their money. I don't care what you do with.
If you're pre-ordering, just know that you're feeding into why the games are getting worse. They haven't even shown you the game's good yet, and you're giving them money.
Funny, if I'm going out and I'm saying something like, don't.
And if it's a digital-only game, there is a negative 500% reason for you to pre-order. Pre-orders were to establish order numbers, for the most part, to give them an idea how many games they needed to make. Like, for the physical edition. No reason for it in digital, first of all. Second of all these companies are trying to stamp out physical when, I'm sorry, digital is not the future. Unless you want to be, like, in Ready Player One, the live-action series. Except for you're not a main character. You won't get an extra life. You will be a pawn. You will be a peon. You will die in the first act.
Pre-order a game or just games in general. To be honest with you, man, that's just a reminder of a system that has burned us time and time again. This happened with
Absolutely, the only reason for pre-orders was physical editions.
Battlefield 2042. What's that Asmongold quote? Every single player backlash.
You're gonna die working at Walmart. Well, that's in flavor for Ready Player One universe. Or Idiocracy. Good luck with that. No dying. Yeah, they give you a code in the box. That's all you get.
Uprising or whatever else is only a 5-minute cinematic trailer from being forgotten. That's exactly what's going on right now. It's recency bias more than it is anything else. We have seen this happen so many times in the past. Trailers, promotional material, especially for AAA games, rarely deliver on the
I wish I had a 4090.
promises that are given. And you guys know this. Everybody knows this. And I know
Jelly.
how exciting it is to see a new game. And while I think that Battlefield 6 looks like a safe bet, my question is, why take the bet at all when it costs me nothing just to wait?
That's what I'm saying. Why are you taking the bet at all? But Anon, that's exactly what's in Ready Player One. That's literally the pathway. And we're not gonna get the VR universe. You know why? Because most gamers are smart enough to realize that the subscription model is not the way, my friend.
Used to mean something, but year over year the value has been just drained out of it entirely. And the crazy thing is that pre-ordering used to be part of the foundation of this industry, but that's just been destroyed. There's nothing in it for us anymore.
Well, there's that, but also the fact that no company would be willing to spend the money to like create a VR like full dive system or a headset that would make that possible.
Than a couple of skins. Here you go. Here's your couple of cosmetics and a broken video game. So, with all this risk and very little reward, my question is, why the fuck are we pre-ordering games?
Why? It's because a lot of people are stupid. Like, I can understand if it's a game you're like very passionate about. That I give you the benefit of the doubt there. Like, if it's a game franchise that you're very passionate about, no one's gonna fault you for that. Like, you have a passion for a game, that's a good thing. Like at the end of the day, it really is the company's fault for being a crappy company. But if you have no stake in the game, yet you're still pre-ordering it, for the problem.
I'm going to start by saying that I think Battlefield 6 looks incredible. I've got a whole other video.
It does look good, but he's right. I don't care how good it looks right now. This could entirely be faked. I want proof. And even then, I probably won't pre-order it.
Plan talking about EA and how we might actually be seeing a real turnaround over there, which is a crazy thing for me to be saying, especially on this channel. But I mean, you know, after releasing something like Dragon Age the Veilguard, that's enough to change any company. But Battlefield 6, everything about its reveal has been textbook perfect. Community feedback implemented, lessons learned, gameplay is looking sharp, first impressions are absolutely glowing from just about every single person that's played it. If you're a fan, it feels like there is a genuinely great game just around the corner, but that is all it is, a possibility, a strong maybe, and none of that is a reason for me to pay money for something that I can't play right now. Everything that we have seen, even the hands-on stuff, is all a part of a marketing push. It's been filtered, edited, and carefully presented to convince you that this thing is a smart investment. And let's be honest, we've been down this road before. Far too many times. There is a long, ugly history of pre-orders leading straight to scuffed launches. At best, you are paying for the privilege to beta test some broken game 2 months early. At worst, you're handing over cash in exchange for a few skins in the hope that things won't go sideways. So yeah, I'm hyped. Of course I'm hyped. I want Call of Duty to die, and I want Battlefield to be the one to kill it, but the cynic on my shoulder kicked in and tweeted out, "Do not fucking pre-order." And while some people got it, the rest, well, these replies made me lose all faith in humanity. Always pre-order what you love. Don't know why people...
Like, I can understand that first one. Always pre-order what you love. Like, I wouldn't say always, but, like, if you have a strong passion for Battlefront, then sure, go ahead. Anyone else, though? No excuse.
Are saying not to pre-order, it was actually brilliant. I like to pre-order the day before release just to get the free bonus shit. Too late, I'm gonna pre-order. I just pre-ordered twice. Don't tell me what to do. Bro, I just took 200 milligrams of zinc. What do you expect?
I mean, fair. I see why he liked it too. That was kind of funny.
I'm gonna pre-order Battlefield 6 just to piss y'all off. Worst advice ever, you're the problem with gaming.
You're the problem with gaming. Think for yourself.
And this just went on and on. People retweeting, posting, sharing receipts of them buying the game. I guess these guys assumed that I was like rolled up in a corner somewhere, losing my mind. I don't care how you guys spend your money. I just don't see the point. And the fact that people would be responding to this with receipts like it's a badge of honor is just something straight out of Idiocracy, especially the...
I feel like we're going to watch Idiocracy for the movie night. Because I'm thinking of doing the movie night Sunday when I get back. Or, yeah, I'm thinking Sunday.
They're talking about how they're buying the game for skins. Guys, this is a first-person game. One reply really stuck with me, though. Somebody said, I see what you're saying, but I typically pre-order games I know I absolutely want, regardless of reviews. When I pre-order, it's more so I can pay and not have to deal or worry about it later when it's potentially out of budget or something. That hit me. I used to be in the exact same spot, up to my neck in debt, stuck with a dead-end job, barely scraping by. The only thing that I was looking forward to was playing games just to escape. And even though I couldn't afford it, I still would pre-order games because that anticipation, that promise of joy, it was all I had. But that's also what makes us the perfect targets. These marketing campaigns are built to exploit that hope. They sell you relief, they sell you comfort, and they know exactly how to do it without delivering anything real. Because the truth is, when you pre-order a game that hasn't even gone gold, that doesn't even technically exist in its final form. All you're buying is a receipt and a feeling, and that's just not enough anymore. It's not fair to us, not with how much money they are asking us to pay for these games, how little you actually get, and how often the end result isn't what was promised. Pre-ordering used to serve a purpose back when games were physical and stock was limited. If you didn't reserve a copy, you might spend all day driving around from store to store.
That is why. That is why pre-ordering was a thing. It's so they knew how many they needed the day one. But even then, some people never showed up for their pre-orders. But, like, that's the thing. Is, why are you pre-ordering something that's digital?
Just to come up empty. We used to put $5 down on a copy, not pay for the entire thing in full.
Yeah, you'd put $5 down to be like, hey, I'm going to pay for this. I'll probably be getting this.
Used to be a
Dawn of War
reservation,
Librarian
not a
was right. Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment.
Yeah.
Commitment, and it used to mean something. Pre-ordering was an event. Midnight launches were peak gaming culture. I remember lining up for Wrath of the Lich King, Gears of War, Halo, Call of Duty, calling my friends, grabbing food, staking out our spots in line. Stores were running giveaways, trivia, and tournaments. It was a celebration, and you actually got something out of it. T-shirts, posters, keychains, figurines, collector stuff that you could...
I loved actual good collector's editions where it came with everything and the game. You got like the steel book with the game in it and like the nice statue. I think the only pre-order I ever actually got that had some kind of swag with it was the Sekiro one. And I think that was the last good pre-order. Like bonus. And even then it was kind of... I got the cheaper pre-order, so I got the Katana standee that's a letter opener.
Hold on to. Something to mark the moment, because that's what game releases used to be. Something to remember. Now that's gone. It's dead. It's buried. And while I totally get and support people wanting to pre-order and support physical games, digital has completely killed the culture and value. Games don't run out of stock anymore. You can just download them day one. Most local game stores are completely gone by this time. Big retailers aren't...
I go to the retailers for the physical. I haven't bought a lot of games recently because there hasn't been anything good.
Doing midnight launches
Steam has been my shop for a while because everything else has been trash
anymore, and the only way that you're going to get any type of physical merch for supporting a game is if you're dropping $100 or more on a collector's edition, or in the case of Diablo 4, even a collector's edition doesn't even...
Anyone that got that, how did it get to a 7.5?
even include the game. And most pre-order bonuses now are just cosmetic or content that's been cut from the main game and sold separately, or content that was specifically made to...
Alan, here's the thing. Games are actually way cheaper to make. It's these AAA games are forcing it to be more expensive. They're pushing all these crazy extras that no one's asking for. I don't care if I can see the follicles of hair on a man's neck. Huh? Did you hear how much Stellar Blade cost? Did you hear how much Wukong cost? They were amazing. And they were like 1/10 of the budget. They were like 70 million to make. And stuff. Like, you don't want to see the hair follicles on a man's neck? No. I don't care. Like, if I see them, sure, fine. Okay, that's nice. Why am I getting that clip? I'm making a reference. I don't need the graphics. I don't need the super, like, ultra realism. I don't need, like, crazy graphics. Elden Ring graphics are what I like. Where that's art direction. That costs significantly less than all this digital mocap bullcrap. AAA companies are constantly pushing the idea that it's more expensive when it's actually cheaper. Way cheaper. Are they making physical editions? Half the time, no now. Like, Nintendo is literally releasing a physical boxes where it's just a download key. They're spending pennies on the dollar and still asking for premium price. More than they normally did. They're asking for 80 now. Wages increase does not actually affect how much money they make in the long term. Because you don't understand. They've already been paid for by the last game. Yeah, that's the thing. They are exacerbating how much they have to spend on purpose. And then what's crazy is, like, wages have increased, yeah, but barely. And then cost of hardware, no, it hasn't. Even if it did, they already have the best hardware half the time. So what are they what money are they spending there? Huh? People don't know how this works. I've worked in manager positions in multiple different companies. You don't understand how half of these things they tell you are either a lie, obfuscation of the truth, or a white lie where they're just not telling you the whole truth. GPUs are only so expensive because of Nvidia saw scalpers get away with it, and we're like, but we want that money, so they sold it at double price.
To push pre-orders and upgrades. Beyond that,
We're almost
the
done,
entire
Slimy.
intent of pre-ordering has changed. It used to be a simple convenience for us and a thank you from the devs to the player. But now it's a one-sided deal. It's a publisher benefiting transaction. Pre-orders are just a cash flow tool, a sales forecast, a development milestone.
What do you want, Slimy? We're watching. What do you want?
I'm bored by myself doing nothing.
Okay, well, let's react together, and then we only got 10 more minutes to react.
Most of the time, we are buying something that isn't even finished. It's just
It'll probably end up being
late-stage
15
crowdfunding
with like
without any of the
reacting
transparency.
to the video itself.
I mean, do I even have to say Cyberpunk 2077? Yeah, the game redeemed itself, but at one point, that game had the world wrapped around its finger. I think I pre-ordered the game the minute that it hit the store. Every reveal, every trailer, gameplay, snippet, behind the scene, closed doors, previews, it all looked perfect. This was the developers of The Witcher 3. There wasn't a single red flag, and then it dropped, and it was a total nightmare. Unfinished, broken, it didn't deliver on a fraction of what was promised. It became, at the time, the clearest example of why you don't give these companies your money until you know exactly what you're getting.
Alan, they're not using an old system. There's already a leak that they already have a PS6. And yet they're increasing the prices of the PS5. Yeah, like, crypto craze. Yeah, it's literally because of the crypto craze that a lot of this stuff is super expensive, even though it's dead now.
No Man's Sky, same story. Redemption later, disaster at launch. Aliens, Colonial Marines. Previews, hands-on, and early reviews were all based on content that didn't even exist in the final game. It was all curated specifically for the reviewers to sell the game for them. Then we have Battlefield 2042, widely seen as one of the worst entries in the franchise, and just like Battlefield 6, it promised a return to form. Dynamic weather events, 128 player lobbies, next gen.
I don't know what Simon thinks, but every time I hear return to form for a game, I am not purchasing it.
Like, in what context?
Like they're promising that this is the return to form, to the old days, to the good games.
That's.
Yeah, right?
I was gonna say, if that was the case, Destiny 2 wouldn't be Destiny 2 right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't know if you know about the whole Destiny 2 controversy right now.
What did they do this time?
Okay, so I'm gonna go about on a rant here, but
Simon rant, guys. Settle in.
Previously, right, I participated in a raid race not too long ago of the new expansion, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, the raid races are supposed to be difficult. Like day one of new raids being released, contest mode is a thing. You're like under light level for certain encounters and everything. It's all fine and dandy. It's just like what a raid race is supposed to be. But there is a group that's always won raid races. I think they go by the name of Salt Greppo or something like that.
Okay.
But this motherfucker, right? This motherfucker, he kept complaining of things either being too easy or classes being too easy, and demanding either nerfs or it to be harder. So, come this new expansion, and they do their new raid. They release a new raid for this expansion. Motherfucker then comes in and he's like, "Oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's like I'm shooting a bullet sponge. Oh, why do you guys make it too hard?"
Says the guy who said it was too easy.
That's why you should never balance a game based on just a few people's opinion.
It's a lot of the elitists, and it's still a lot of the elitists. Like there's people even to this day who are like, "Oh yeah, the new seasonal content. Oh, but I soloed like this not raid content. Oh, then just get good. Just get good." It's like, bro, you're like what, the potential 1% of people that do like hard content? Like, I don't understand, and it's mainly because of a weapon being like busted and not working as intentional.
Yeah. Just wait to just watch what would happen if that weapon got nerfed.
I mean, they at least do what, like, Bungie does what they at least do, and that is if something is very busted, they'll disable it for any of like the special like hard contest mode stuff. But even then, still, it's just like that game is a shit show, and I don't know.
This is coming from someone that
why.
really loves Destiny, people. Used to, at
love
least.
is a
Used to, at least.
No. Even then, still, love is a strong word. Like, we're talking like, even if like Destiny, the original Destiny was
that booty.
I want to say, in my opinion, decent. Both games were shit. A lot of stuff was like not balanced, and hell, I didn't even do most of like the quote unquote hard content with like end game setups. Like I just put on anything and I solo raids because that's what it was. That's what you were able to do back then. But nowadays, it's like, well, you gotta have
unpolished core
meta
mechanics
setup
missing. The new
and this
specialist
tier
system
5
replaced the
gear,
class system.
which is gonna go bad next season.
Okay.
And pissed off just about everybody. The game was such a letdown that weeks after launch, players started circulating a change.org petition demanding refunds across all platforms. Now, I've only listed a few, but there is a long list of games that have burned players, and there just really isn't any benefit for players to pre-order anymore. And honestly, I don't even see the benefit for studios and publishers outside of capturing your money early. Because some people were asking for more context, I posted again saying, for those with brain slugs, we used to pre-order to reserve a copy day one, participate in a midnight launch,
it's a
and get
literal
collector's
chore at this point.
Now, you just give money to a company for no reason and get skins you will replace the second that your impulsive ass gets into the cosmetic shop.
The highest tier stat gear in the game, which is tier 5, but it'll be all irrelevant because the newer gear comes out and it's just like, hey, you saw that old gear you farmed up? Yeah, throw it in the trash. It's not good anymore.
They're doing the thing WoW did. They're doing the thing WoW did, where they made all the best gear irrelevant instantly with each update.
No, this is like because of their fucking new thing. Because like originally, right, the max stats that you can acquire for a class was either triple hundred or quadruple hundreds if you were lucky to get the stat distributions. Nowadays, it's like, oh, well, you gotta get this tier 5 gear, which will have the highest potential stat bonuses to certain stuff, and you have to have like specific things that you want to go for in order to benefit and try to get like 200 stat bonus.
Yeah,
for, like,
top
the
tier
extra
gear.
benefit.
The next pack kills all of those weapons because now these weapons are better.
Yeah, it's all because people didn't.
It's literally
like
what WoW did. WoW keeps doing, and I think WoW is still doing, and it's like killing off their fan base like slowly. Where it feels like everything's irrelevant. All that grinding I did, pointless because now I have to do it again.
Hold on, I mean, I'm gonna look up something. Destiny 2 Steam charts. I want to see this right now.
This drew the attention
Steam
of Larian
charts,
Studios'
Destiny
head of
2.
publishing, who had said it actually.
It went from June, when June came around. It went to like the lowest. Well, I can't say that was the lowest turn point. I think at some point it had like. Let me see here. Let me look through the
really
list.
helps an incredible amount because console first parties attribute success and support to pre-order numbers. Months before launch, it's the only measurable stat that can make a difference. Not saying you should, but it's not true that it's for
Its
no
lowest
reason.
player
If you want
count
to
was
support
5,000 in August 5th.
And I love how this person's like, it actually helps an incredible amount. It games like they don't base their success off the pre-order numbers. No, they don't. You ever hear about any of these games that sell a lot even mention their pre-orders? No. They mention their sales.
Let me take a look at a certain other game that is free to play.
If it's Warframe, I can tell you it's definitely been going up.
I mean, it's not only that. Let's see. Warframe's lowest player count, which was back in January 23rd, which was 1 player, because at the time it was still releasing. But, as mentioned, you never see it drop down to 5,000. Its highest peak players in-game was 181,000. Tell me why a fucking AAA studio goes from its highest peak of being like 100,000 to 5,000 players.
Yeah. It's because they don't listen to the players. They completely ignore them. They are pay pigs to them. As long as a lot of people are still paying, they don't care.
a game, this is genuinely the
Well, I
best,
mean, I
most
already know
effective
who's
way. I
suffering
responded, I
from,
understand where you're coming from.
you know, investing into Bungie, and that is Doc.
And that's why I support early access, but not pre-orders.
I've
One is active,
talked
the
to
other.
Doc about how I'm never getting back into Destiny.
Yeah, I've been
That
talking to Doc. I'm like, Doc, like, I understand you love the type of game, but game's over with. Let it die.
Like, most of the things that are being, what's it called?
Yeah, you
talked
riding for the
about.
best gear? Start over.
Yep. And hell, don't even get me started about the cheaters.
It's
Fucking,
passive.
what?
I want
Easy
to
anti-cheat?
actually-
You know a game
yeah.
Easy anti-cheat, so helpful, guys.
Easy anti-cheat, Battle Life.
What's hilarious
sure.
is, and you know what's hilarious? Easy anti-cheat is supposed to be a replacement for GMs, where GMs actually actively got rid of millions of cheaters. Well, it wouldn't even get to millions. They'd get rid of thousands of cheaters every week. And, like, there was no real way to tell how they were finding out. They would just see you cheating. Because they'd have invisible characters that could walk around and, like, follow you and stuff. Hilariously,
Doc and Coma are resident Destiny refugees.
yeah, Coma still plays it. I've got onto him about it. And what's hilarious is, you want to know a game that has very little cheaters still? Because they still use GMs? Maple Story. Say what you will about the company, but at least they still use GMs, which are actually proven effective measures against cheaters. But all these other companies want to spend millions of dollars on these cheat systems that do not work and claim, oh, we're doing our best. No, you're not. Pay for the employees to be GMs.
That and what's it called? Destiny's a free-to-play game.
Like, you
And-
can easily get a few GMs to monitor, like, certain areas that are known, like, hacker zones. And then have, like, 1 or 2 extra GMs that run them, like go to all the other areas.
But that's the thing, specifically. Ever since... Because Bungie was also launching another title
Well,
called
that's a
Marathon.
different issue. Oh, that's gold sellers. And gold sellers can buy thousands of bots for each one GM. So that there's a reason it's back there. But easy anti-cheat doesn't even stop that.
But, you know of the Marathon thing, or have
Yeah.
you not heard of it?
Oh yeah, we
Which-
did a review of that.
Yeah, which Marathon was supposed to be an extraction shooter. Why we needed another extraction shooter, I don't fucking know. Its genre is literally mainly Apex, but I mean, who plays Apex at this point? But besides that point, apparently one of the artists that were helping with designing the game had stolen someone's art, and Sony didn't like that. Sony literally cut Bungie's budget, which they had to fire a lot of people. And a lot of people being some of the good people, like even the musical people, like a lot of people known those music people from like
What's hilarious
previous
is that the
Bungie
people that
games.
should have been fired are the people that stole the art.
Yeah. But they were just a part-time like crew.
What's even more
were literally
hilarious
there
is
to work on it.
Sony's done it before too. What's super hilarious is Nintendo got in trouble for stealing art recently.
So far. Oh my god. That also reminds me of what I recently saw on because funny silly Chrome on the mobile device, right?
Yeah,
Shows me news on like games because I like to follow game news and all that.
yeah.
And specific games like, you know, Gears and everything because I'm a gearhead. I always want to know what's up with the Gear series. But apparently Nintendo's against the idea of speedrunning games, their games, for charity.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that. Nintendo told a charity that is for Doctors Without Borders, basically doctors that go everywhere to like help people as like a charity and stuff. Oh yeah, you're not allowed to play our games for this. You gotta ask us permission first. And then you have to apply for each individual game and you have to sign for it.
Ah, yes, I didn't know that me buying and owning. A
They
game
owned the
required me
games.
to have-
All the games they had were already purchased and paid for. But no, Nintendo says no. It's a non-profit charity. No, not allowed. How dare you?
Give my support through feedback, critique, and data rather than just giving
It
a company
is-
money
it is
simply to
something
prove
with
interest.
gaming
To
industries
which he
nowadays.
replied, "That's a big brain POV. I respect it." Now, while I didn't say this in the post, I totally understand that there is valuable information that developers can get from being able to see how many people may or already have committed money to a game. That's very valuable for.
I'm okay with the $5 deal. If we go back to $5 pre-orders, I'm backing it. But here's the thing. I want the same kind that GameStop and EB had, where you put $5 on a game. If you end up not getting that game, that $5 goes to whatever game next you want to try to look at. They don't get that $5 until I get the game.
Baboka.
Baboka.
Why would we do pre-orders for our expensive, probably buggy AAA game?
That's what I'm
When we
saying.
can milk you out of your money for $100 for something that's gonna fucking flop.
Exactly.
These guys, but I completely disagree
Like,
with it being the only
I've
valuable
talked about this
metric
to
or the only
good
measurement
friend
to be
of
able to
mine,
use to be able to make a difference before a
Such
game
in
releases.
Nordic,
That doesn't even make any sense to
Because
me. These
I was
companies
talking
have
about the whole
so many
Cliffy
tools.
B thing. If you don't know who Cliffy B is, Cliffy B was the person who went from Epic Games
Mhm.
or he worked on the Gears of War projects, so 1 through 3, and he left. I think after Judgment was being worked on by people who could fly, industry, and he went to go work on Fortnite. I want to say it's maybe cut a few years later, around the pandemic. He starts trying to get this new game that he's wanting to get off the ground called Lawbreakers, which immediately flopped for dull gameplay and dull characters. Like they were, it just sank. But fast forward to
It concorded itself.
yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, it didn't even concord itself. It didn't even get off the ground. It was just a beta, and that was it.
Okay.
Concord actually released a game, but
Debatable, but okay.
but fast forward to around when Gear 6 was being talked and Gears E-Day was shown. Cliffy B comes back to the Xbox podcast and he's like, I want to help work on the Gears of War project. And I'm like, I don't think you should. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, sure, yes, Gears 5 flopped, but it's still a fun game. A lot of people play it, and me, Snutch, and Nordic are still enjoying the game. Like, we love it, for even if it's a buggy mess. We enjoy the bugs. It's fun, and it gives us a good laugh. It's good clips. But for someone to abandon the Gears project, go make Fortnite and be successful there, and then try to make Lawbreakers, which flopped, I don't think you should really get, like, you could give input on story-wise, but you're not allowed to come back into... I think you should stay in your lane.
Yeah, you should go back to Fortnite.
Their disposal. They have all these different social media metrics and things like that.
I don't like that idea. I hate
exactly
the
what
VR,
people are saying
like,
and thinking about their game. How
modes.
many people are positive and negative, and what are you doing? Plus, on top of that, he's alluding to something that is incredibly dangerous, and that's the idea that with these first-party titles on consoles more than anything else, likely is what he's talking about, that whether or not the game gets finished or whether or not they put more into marketing is dictated on how many pre-orders a game has. That's terrible. What do you make that make sense? You're investing hundreds of millions of dollars into a game. You get it to the finish line, and then now you're looking at pre-orders and deciding whether or not you want to finish it or put more marketing into it? Something that
That's not a good idea.
is dictated on player spending habits, world economic conditions that can shift at any given moment, whether or not another developer burned a bunch of players on pre-orders before your game comes out and makes them skittish and not want to actually pre-order a game. The only way this makes any sense to me is if these guys are just completely ignoring social media metrics altogether and are ignoring player feedback on social media. Never mind, actually, it makes perfect sense to me.
It makes perfect sense, yes. That's exactly what they're doing.
Now that I say that. There just isn't anything in it for players anymore. There's no value in it for us, and there's so much risk that's associated with it. And these games are so expensive, and they're getting even more expensive. They want to be even more expensive. And we just don't see a lot of AAA games that are actual of good quality, right? I mean, I don't, to be honest with you. I mean, my other people might actually have a...
I haven't seen a recent AAA game with good quality in the last 2 years, I want to say. I'm trying to think of any AAA game that I've like I guess obviously Elden Ring, but like besides that,
Like, if anything, what specific genre, like besides like a AAA company, like what genre is he just mentioning? Any genre?
any
Okay.
genre really. He's saying I haven't seen a AAA game that like I'm pretty sure that's what he says.
different eye than I do when it comes to this stuff. I think, I mean, my other people might actually have quality, right? I mean, I don't, to be honest with you. I mean, my other people might actually...
Yeah, he's saying, like, have you seen a, like, super good AAA quality? Here's the thing, that one's got a black mark on it because it was changed to fit other people's narrative and stuff. Like, even the people that made the game were commenting how it's weird how I had to change my art. Like, no AAA game has had unblemished quality in the last few years, except for maybe Elden Ring, and I think that was 3 years ago. So in the last 2 years, I don't think there's been a game. Can you think of any time?
Let me think.
A different.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me do a little bit of research here.
All right.
Than I do when it comes to this stuff, but I think Battlefield 6 likely is going to be an exception to the rule. I think that
What I've seen of the Battlefield 6, there's a good chance it becomes one of the first in a long, long time that's been decent. I could see that.
Let's see if, because I'm guessing AAA game is like any big company.
Yeah, big company. Like,
Okay.
ignoring Baldur's Gate, because like that was a.
So
You can't
I
really
think-
count. Larry just recently became AAA.
I think, if anything, the recent AAA games that I can think of that I personally say are good, in my opinion, would be the RE series. Specifically, Resident Evil series.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
I-
I can agree that they've been pretty decent.
I'd say, because right now, specifically...
I haven't heard many like complaints about that series, so I would say yeah. I think you're right about
Like-
that.
Like, I think it would just be from, like, mainly, you know, what's it called? Those people who play games but really aren't gamers. The fucking article people.
Yeah. You mean
Like,
the
I think that-
games journalists?
Yeah, I think those are the only people that would probably have gripes with these games. Because, hell, I saw someone playing fucking Donkey Kong Bonanza. Man was literally following a yellow trail of paint. And he
Yeah.
still manages to fuck it up. I'm like, dude, you guys are not gamers. Get
I
actual
swear,
fucking
I
good
swear,
gamers.
I swear.
Like,
the game
get
is
people
genuinely
who
going to
actually
be good,
play
at
your
least
games.
from what I've seen of it so far. But that is something of an anomaly today. And personally, I just don't like betting on anomalies. I would much rather wait to see what that game looks like when that game comes out. It costs me absolutely nothing just to wait. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's the thing. This system isn't built to benefit us anymore. Instead, it's built to support the bloated budgets and headcounts of these companies. I mean, keep in mind, Battlefield, EA had said, they came out and said, we want 100 million players for Battlefield. They are likely budgeting this game based on that projection. That is a very dangerous thing to do. And that's exactly why these companies want your money, because it shows to their shareholders that they're pulling something in, and it's essentially trying to pretend like the entire system isn't on fire. But what I don't think that these guys understand or have come to realize is that their cost cutting and their removal of value from pre-ordering and the culture itself has completely removed the safety net out from underneath them. Now, I've had this theory for a while now about why so many high-profile
yes,
games
chat.
flop, why
Yes,
studios
stonks.
keep getting shut down, and why it feels like every single new release has everything riding on it. And I think it's because AAA publishers accidentally destroyed pre-orders while still relying on them to survive, and they also are designing their games for day one sales. And yeah, I know that this entire video is about not pre-ordering, but let's be honest, we're just not seeing them at the scale that we used to anymore. People are pointing to Battlefield 6 topping the Steam charts like it's some kind of proof that pre-ordering is still alive and well, but what's actually happening right now? I mean, the last big game release that we had was Expedition 33 back in April. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers could have been the next one, but performance issues kind of tanked that game's sales. Nothing else is selling right now. So, of course, Battlefield 6 is going to look massive because it's not up against anything. Over the years, publishers stripped out everything that made pre-ordering feel worthwhile. No merch, no collectibles, no culture. They moved to digital to save on retail partnerships, manufacturing, and shipping. Fine, sure, but in doing that, they erased the entire reason why people pre-order. There's nothing to hold. There's nothing to look forward to. No benefit, just early payment for a product that you don't own yet. And while they were cutting those corners, they were
And since it's digital, you don't own it.
scaling up everywhere else. Games got bigger, studios ballooned in size, budget skyrocketed. We're talking about games that are $300 to $400 million projects now, and somehow, despite offering less, they became more dependent than ever on pre-orders, not to reward you, not to create hype, just to calm down their investors to convince themselves that they weren't about to tank another release. But I also think that people used to pre-order because they wanted to, because there was something they used to get. I used to do it all the time, not because I thought the game was going to be amazing, but because I thought they were relatively inexpensive, and it came with a shirt or a hat or a statue or a launch event or just something to feel like I was being a part of something, because that used to be enough. And back then, that was a cushion. That used to be a safety net for these guys. Even if the game turned out mediocre or broken, the pre-orders were already locked in. Day one sales could carry the launch, and publishers could just fill in the cracks later. But now, that doesn't work. So now, with all the benefits stripped away, costs skyrocketing, and every single release feeling like a game of Russian roulette, where it might launch with performance issues, missing content, weird messaging, or in some cases just be a straight-up scam, I would like to believe, maybe not most, but a lot of players have finally wisened up. They wait.
I think a lot of players have wised up. You've seen it happening more and more, where these games are just not doing good. They're coming out and they're having like 1,000 people play them.
They hold out, and they just don't get excited until the game is actually out. And again, this is entirely the publisher.
It is very iffy, but like, I think Cardcode was a good metric to go by. Like,
it's iffy on the communities. If it's Nintendo like fanboys, they're gonna
Nintendo!
fucking buy it.
I think Nintendo's
Candy.
gonna start suffering now because they just kept pushing it. There's so many controversies with them right now, with other states and other countries are starting to sue them. They pushed the envelope way too far with this one.
Fault. Not for just mismanaging their budgets or failing to give players a reason to pre-order, but for releasing unfinished, mediocre, and broken games and expecting us to show up for it anyway. I think one of the reasons why so many of these companies are struggling right now is because they got so used to us committing early. That trust gave them the permission to be able to cut corners in the final stretch, knowing that they already had our money and could just fix it later. And if you want proof of that system being broken, all we got to do is look back at Baldur's Gate 3. That game caused a full-on panic across the industry, not because it was a surprise.
That's what's hilarious. Baldur's Gate 3 revealed what a lot of the companies were thinking. They're all like, please don't make this is an anomaly. They had all this backing. No, they didn't. They had the same thing you have. They just used it smart and weren't stupid.
But because it exposed just how far the bar
greatest
had been lowered.
example
When
right now is currently the best thing I can reference right now at this current moment is the Coalition Studios, i.e. the people who are currently working on the Gears series.
Yeah.
Currently, E-Day is the next step in the series. It is a prequel of a prequel, but they are wanting to release this next year. It's been a project in the works for quite a while already, but they're wanting to make this. They're wanting to cook it a lot more. So it's in the oven. It's cooking.
Yeah.
Compared to like every other like game industry who's like, oh yeah, we gotta roll this out. We gotta roll this out immediately.
Yeah.
Upon the date release, like that's the only best reference that I can get is currently the Coalition Studio is wanting to release Gears of War Reloaded for both Steam and PlayStation 5 users because they signed a contract with PlayStation to like port some games over. So the Gears series is more likely to be introduced to PlayStation players and potentially maybe the rest of the series too, because you can't just leave it on just Gears.
And yeah, like some of the chat is saying, like Epic Game Store was trying to, their whole selling point was they were going to lower cut from games, and the market was going to make it where all the lot prices would be lower. And then like Lock-On saying, studios have already started following Larian's example. Like Expedition 33 kind of proves that point of like they're just ignoring all these big AAAs and are just doing their thing.
They're calling it the new gold standard. You had studios and publishers that were jumping in to say this isn't realistic. You can't expect this from everyone. And the fact that they were saying that out loud, that they were openly afraid of a well-made, competent game should tell you everything. But an article from GameDeveloper.com, well, they were the ones that actually confirmed what all of us had already expected. They were trying to explain away and talk about how these studios can't do what Larian is actually doing and trying to defend the system, but they accidentally exposed just how dysfunctional it really is. In an article titled "Yelling is Not Journalism," written in response to the player outrage, they had wrote, in abstract, here's the big part of it. Games release in imperfect states because developers either run out of money or shareholders of the parent company mandate that a game must come out in a certain window, which developers have no control over.
Like, that's my problem. Why are we letting marketing people and people that have and people that have nothing to do with the creation of the game decide when the game comes out?
Because money.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Money.
every single company that has gone public is failing, and for good reason.
They run out of money trying to make the best game possible with the least amount of time. Devs rarely control their own budget, and they're trying to make as much cool stuff as they can with the time that they're allotted. In short, for one reason or another, they're often forced to start selling a game in order to pay for its completion. This has been done through DLC, patches, early access, and yes, even microtransactions for...
I hate the excuses of like the day one DLC or like the week after DLC. Like, no, anything that isn't like a month or so after, I don't believe you. I knew it was part of the game. I can usually tell.
Trust me, like I said, that was the biggest regret with
of AAA, and
Destiny.
because
Yeah.
big studios are beholden to financial year results and reporting
Mini
to
Wheats!
their
I love
investors.
Mini Wheats.
Devs
Yeah.
burn through their life force trying to make this happen, and it's upsetting to see this brought up with absolute incuriosity. And that's it. That's the entire problem. They have front-loaded the entire operation, so now it is aimed at the hype leading up to release and the day one result. And they will just figure out what happens next after the game releases. That is effectively what pre-ordering is today, and that's the reason why nobody wants to do it anymore. They are not launching finished products. They are launching funding campaigns. I don't know about you guys, but I'm here to buy a video game, not somebody else's problems, not pay for the fact that developers have no control over their own workplace or donate to a Kickstarter that's being sold as a finished product. That is not our fucking responsibility.
Not my problem.
But what I don't think these companies understand is that era is over. We live in a reality now where audience sentiment can kill a game well before it even launches. If players sense bloat, greed, or even a hint of personal politics, it's going to spread instantly. Publishers built an economy powered by hype, but now that economy is controlled by an audience.
Investors listen to marketing people, not developers. Developers and investors basically don't speak the same language, so they need the marketing types as middlemen, and it very rarely works out well. Basically, the marketing people are like, care about money now, care about actual product later. Whereas a developer will care about product first, then money.
That doesn't trust them anymore, an audience that they created. And as we've seen, that shift has not gone well for them. Sure, there are definitely some outlier games like Call of Duty or Monster Hunter Wilds where the brand is bulletproof or the competition is non-existent, but those are rare. Everyone else, you can see
know
just
about
how
that.
fragile they are right.
What?
I don't know about the whole competition is not there with Wilds. Wilds has taken a arrow to the knee with its recent stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Now, look at Dragon Age the Veilguard. That reveal trailer sparked cautious excitement. Then the official trailer dropped and that momentum collapsed overnight. First impressions fell flat. The game got discounted within a month and then dumped into a subscription service. And then after that, it just kind of vanished from conversation. Same story with Assassin's Creed. Same with Avowed. Same with the whole stack of games that we've seen over the past couple of years. These projects live and die by early momentum, and they're operating in a world where that momentum can disappear with a single bad trailer. And honestly, I don't think any of this changes, not unless...
I feel like the companies that actually matter are going to start releasing really good games. Like the companies that are going to be here for the next 10 years are going to start releasing good games soon.
There's a massive return to physical gaming, but let's be real, with the rise of PC and most players preferring the convenience of being able to download a game digitally, that ship has sailed.
And here's the crazy thing. I saw a video of this last night, and I'm going to probably react to it tomorrow. There's a reason why a lot of these companies are just doing really stupid things.
There was a lightning in a bottle moment where pre-orders actually meant something, where we could trust the industry, where launch events were culture. It's gone and it's not coming back. But that
launch events would come back to being culture if they started making it matter again. But pre-orders don't mean anything right now. It's, are you going to buy the game? Okay, buy it.
It's not, I was going to say, it's not, are you going to buy the game? It's, are you going to buy a license for our game that may or may not die?
We don't even own the game anymore because it's all digital now. Like, no. Most gamers are going to ignore the hell out of it.
That's fine. If the old system is dead, then it's time to build something better, something that puts the players first.
And I bet you anything, if Nintendo tries to do a day one kind of deal like this right now, very few people will show up. Only the most die-hard Nintendo fans will show up. Because die-hard Nintendo fans are starting to leave them.
All know development is expensive, and we all know it's a gamble, and you can have the right idea, but at the wrong time. You can build something beautiful, but still miss the mark. Players understand that, but that doesn't mean that we should be the ones that are absorbing the risk for it, because that's not our job to fund that. I think that's one of the reasons why Expedition 33 worked out so well. While the game was absolutely incredible, the developers never assumed that they had a hit. They knew that they were unknown, so instead of pushing deluxe editions and cosmetic bundles, they just gave players a reason to trust them. A 15% discount for pre-ordering. No strings, no bullshit, just a fair trade. Support for savings. And honestly, I'll take that over a batch of skins any day, and I think that's the direction that the rest of this industry needs to start heading in. I think that discounts before release is the best step forward. I think that it's obvious by now that this industry, no matter how much money they make, they're never going to detach from the teat that is their shareholders. And if that's the case, well, then you need to start giving players a reason to support early, a real reason to support.
There is no real reason right now. I would definitely say that the discount before release was a good deal there.
Also,
TennoCon is a good example. Yeah, TennoCon would be what I would assume is like the only way to do launch events anymore now.
but no. But here's the thing with specifically TennoCon. We're comparing it to like water and fine wine. Like TennoCon is a free thing. It is something that is free, while like a AAA game is fucking luxury. It is wine at this case. Water is free, but fucking wine, on the other hand, you have to like pay a good amount for. This, like, that is the difference between a launch event for a game that a big company is wanting you to support compared to a TennoCon thing where the game is free to play.
I know, right? I love Alana. I wish I could collab with her soon. Maybe one day.
Support early. And when I see a publisher discount a game before it's released, I don't think that that's a sign of weakness. I think that's a sign of charity and trust more than anything else.
I see that as a sign of confidence. You discount it before it's released. You're like, I'm gonna bet on the players, because I think the players are gonna really like this. So if I get enough players early, I'll get a ton of players later. But yeah, like Waka said, the wine's got diluted so much that it's worse than water. Hi, Leo.
And it's a practice that I support.
It's a half-baked
I do not
thing.
pre-order
Half-baked.
games. I pre-ordered Expedition 33 before it was released, specifically because I saw it was 15% off, and I want to support that practice. I want to see that more often. And I'm going to catch some real heat for this one. AAA live service games, I think that they should go on discounted early access years before they even release. I think that Baldur's Gate 3, while not a live service game, proved that you can put out a AAA release, give players a vertical slice of the game, a very small slice of the game, test within it, give them a discounted price for it, learn to make the game that players actually want to play, get valuable data, valuable feedback, as well as funding to continue the development of the game. And then once you've made the game they want, then you release all of it in one big drop and make a big splash. I think that can work out for a lot of these companies. I know some people are like, oh, these companies have as much money as they already need. Believe me, I know, but I don't think we're ever going to get around that, to be honest with you. You got to speak on their terms when it comes to some of this stuff. Beyond that, I want to see customer loyalty programs and digital returns. LD, what are you smoking? Hear me out, okay?
Digital returns has to be a must.
I wish personally
I
the time.
I think eventually I think Steam is gonna up it to like 6 hours or something for like bigger games, like games that have like 90 something hours in them or something like that. They're gonna up those to a larger window of return.
Though, personally, as I was going to mention earlier, I wish I would have been able to fucking get a full ass refund, specifically on Destiny. Because
maybe it would be Diablo 4.
Because in the terms of Destiny 2,
Thinkies.
because I don't know if you knew at the time, on initial release, it wasn't free to play. It was
Oh yeah,
paid.
I still think that's so scummy of them.
Yep. And I remember pre-ordering this game.
Oh yeah, I would love
when
to.
it released.
I would love to return Starfield as well, because they still haven't gotten good enough mods for it yet to make it even playable. That's how bad the game is that the modders left.
Yep.
Stop Killing Games has made some serious momentum. I think it's actually going to make an
I have a lot of hope for Stop Killing Games, just because we have someone in our court now. One of the senators literally is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna back this. I agree with this. This makes sense." Like, there's a lot of potential there now, because we have someone there that's like trying to push it further up the docket.
impact in one way, shape, or form. And players need to feel
Thank you, by the
like
way,
their money is
welcome to
worthwhile, that their
Dragon Cave.
investments are worthwhile, and the best way to do that is through loyalty programs and being able to trade in or get value for games that they don't play anymore. So when I look at it from a developer perspective, the easiest thing for these guys to do is put in a code showing that you played the last game that they had, individual by key, and get 15% off in the next game that they make. Easy.
That sounds kind of neat. I would kind of back that a little bit.
That makes me want to continue to support your games because I'm constantly getting value out of that. And I feel rewarded for doing so. And I feel appreciated for the money that I spend on your games. Beyond that, when it comes to a game that you're finished with and you don't want to play anymore, well, you have like some type of digital, buyback program. You recycle the key, the player gets a little bit of money. That's a win-win in my opinion. As it stands right now, when I look at this industry, the biggest issues that we have is that it's constantly leading towards a one-side relationship where players are getting less and less and we're taking on more and more risk while the publishers are getting the lion's share of just about everything. And with how oversaturated this industry is right now and with how many options that we have today, these companies have to start giving us reasons to buy their games outside of it just being a good game, because I don't think that that's going to be enough. And also, I don't think
Yeah, a lot more Parliament members are starting to support it too because of how many signatures it got. And then, I think they're finding out that a lot of them are legitimate signatures. Like, a good, 90% so far, or 95% have been legitimate. That's a really good metric right there. And that tells those Parliament members, if I want to get more voters for me, I support this.
players trust them enough for that to be enough. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys still pre-ordering games? How do you guys feel?
I do
about
not.
it? You guys think I'm
Starfield, I think, is the one that fully taught me my lesson.
crazy for saying all of this? I don't think so. At least I hope not. Oh, God, I hope not. Anyway, are you guys excited for Battlefield 6? I am, but I'll wait for the game to come out. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. We're almost at 400,000 subscribers. It's crazy. Thank you guys for that. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay cool. Stay righteous. Stay safe.
Family, 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 family.